This morning, Joe Khalil. So, Joe, what are we hearing about the timing of this announcement from Speaker Pelosi?
Yeah, hi, Marnie. So we now know that she's going to be on the House floor around 12:10 Eastern time later this afternoon. Presumably, that is the moment where she's going to announce publicly what her plans are for the future in Congress, what her plans are for her future within the party. This is a much anticipated announcement. Obviously, Speaker Pelosi, a historic figure that is confirmed now by her deputy chief of staff that is the time that we're going to learn her future here. There could be one of essentially three outcomes as a result of whatever she announces today. One is that she could announce she is remaining in Democratic House leadership. Now, she's not going to be Speaker much longer. We know that Republicans have now taken the majority in the House. So come January, if she were to decide to stay within leadership, she would be House Minority Leader, presumably. The other option is she steps back potentially from leadership, but remains in Congress. And that is something that, according to my sources, they expect. But to be clear, no one is exactly certain at this point, at least nobody that I've spoken to yet, including members of Congress, House Democrats that are close to her, Marnie. And then the final option is that she may just announce that she is done. However, again, that seems, according to my sources, unlikely at this point. They think it's going to be one of those first two options. Whatever she announces, though, it is going to have huge ramifications either way. Now, some context here, Marnie. Back in 2018, she did commit to leaving Democratic leadership in the House by 2022. There were a lot of calls back then for some new blood, some younger leadership to step forward, and for, sort of the old guard to take a step back. Pelosi is 82 years old. The numbers 2 and 3 House Democrats behind her are 82 and 83. So there were these calls, and again, she did make a commitment earlier, but according to people that I've spoken to, a lot has changed over the last couple of years, and even in the last few days, as she is starting to sort of reconsider, her role and what exactly she wants to do moving forward in the next Congress. So all eyes, certainly in Washington, and everyone who's following politics around the country, they will be watching to see what exactly she says. Now, one really important note here, Marnie, is that her husband is still recovering, Paul Pelosi, from that attack when somebody broke into their house in San Francisco. That certainly is going to factor in. She has said as much over the weekend at a number of interviews and said that whatever is best for her family is going to be the biggest factor in making her decision here today. Again, I've spoken to a number of staff members on the House Democratic side. I've spoken to members of Congress themselves. Initially, there was this meeting at 9 a.m. Eastern time where House Democrats, many of them thought they were going to hear potentially from Speaker Pelosi. She was not in that meeting. I've asked a couple of them whether they are going to get any sort of heads up before the rest of us hear what she says when she takes to the floor and makes her announcement. They are not exactly certain. Members of Congress who are close to her say, at least they're telling us, they're not sure if she's going to address them privately before she makes this announcement public. So a lot of that still up in the air. What we do know is that she has had a historic run here. Marnie, she's been in leadership since 2002. She's been in Congress since 1987, almost 35 years. So, and she's also, we should mention, the only woman to ever be Speaker of the House, and she did it twice, 2 different terms as Speaker of the House. So her tenure in Congress is historic no matter what. It's certainly going to be interesting to see what she does today and how that's going to have some ripple effects, because the question then becomes who replaces her. Are the other two, Jim Clyburn and Steny Hoyer, the other two top leaders, going to also step down and make way for younger leaders? We just don't know at this point. There's a lot of speculation. Speaker Pelosi herself is going to answer some of those questions, the most important ones, today, a little after noon Eastern time on the floor of the House.
And Marnie, we now know, Joe, the House in recess until noon will be